Brought to you by Hulu. Time to have great original shows and movies. Time to have Hulu.
Hey, what's up, party people? Happy Wednesday. It's time for another SJU Spectacular starring myself, Danielle, Eric, and Kim. We got a full house today because we got a full slate of things to talk about. We got the next James Bond on deck. Who's it going to be? I was going to say a bad choice, but we'll save our choices. We'll reveal our choices shortly. We're also talking about some of our favorite shows coming back to TV and premiering this fall. We're going to talk about that licorice pizza, yum, yum, yum. And Encanto all got trailers. And we didn't get a chance to talk to you about It's a Me, a Chris Pratt playing Mario. So we'll all get to sound off on that finally. Keep those fan questions coming in the chat. So ask some really good ones, but know that we will not respond to them. No, not a single one, because we are banking them for a future holiday episode that will probably be mostly viewer comments and questions. So give us your best shot. Just know that it won't be answered until, I don't know, someone remind me when the next holiday is. Till then. But we begin. 11. Thank you, Ryan. Nailed it. We begin with Bond. No Time to Die is out soon, I believe next week. And Daniel Craig has been over it since about 2010. So he's finally getting the grump is finally getting the send off he so desperately craves. But Bond isn't done. There'll always be a Bond. There'll always be a Stark in Winterfell and a Bond in Britain. And the casting search begins next year officially, according to producer Barbara Broccoli. So we'll make it easy for him. Let's all give one or two picks. Give me your realistic pick of who you think it's going to be, and then your fan cast of who you wish it was going to be. Let's go clockwise. Danielle, start us off. Give us both.
All right, so I think it's going to be Tom Hardy. That's kind of what I'm feeling in my soul. That's going to be a Tom Hardy or a Tom Hardy type. I've said this before. I really want. I'm going to butcher his name. I think it's Rajon Page is how you pronounce it. Hot Duke. I want Hot Duke from Bridgerton.
HBD.
HBD. Give me that HBD. Whoa. I want Hot Duke. He is. I think that he's got all of the Bond stuff that you need. He's super charming. He can turn it on when he wants to. Yeah, I just think that he would be the perfect place. He's just so hot.
That's an important factor.
He's just he's just so pleasant to look at, and managed to make it seem like he had chemistry with his co-star, which he did not, but he sure did make it seem like they did. Sorry.
That's a skill. That's acting, baby.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know how important it is. This incarnation of Bond for Daniel Craig, I don't think it was important for him to be sexy. They played him as kind of a grumpy, thuggish, I take no pleasure in anything.
They gave him a lot of shirtless shots. I rewatched those movies lately,
he works out,
and they definitely show off the Bond.
All right, two solid ones in the mix. Eric, who do you got?
I think there's a chance it could end up being Henry Cavill. I always forget, is it Cavill or Cavill? I could see it being him. I know he did The Man from U.N.C.L.E., which was a non-starter, has his spy franchise. Mm-hmm. Now that he's and the whole Superman experience was such a weird one, with people have very passionate opinions about on the internet. But now that The Witcher has kind of given him this sort of clean slate, I feel after everything, I could see, and we certainly know he looks great in a suit, and he got to play a Ethan Hunt villain. I could see him being on the Bond radar for sure. My who would I like it to be? I'm gonna go with Raoul Collie, who's currently on Midnight Mass. He was on iZombie. He's British. He can smolder like no one's business. He in real life is a real life geek. One of us. So we can know well, I know Henry Cavill is too, by the way. But we could have some some geek representation there. So I think he'd be a really fun pick. And I actually think I knew him from iZombie first, mostly comedically, but now that I've seen him do some of the Flanagan stuff and do more dramatic work, I think he's great in it all. And so he would be my pick if I could control Hollywood.
All right. Well, one day, Eric.
And the Broccoli's.
Yes, with the consent of the Broccoli's. Kim, represent. Who do you have?
Well, I've thought a lot about this, and funnily enough, I've come up with two names that both of you have already mentioned. But I think Regé-Jean Page will be the pick. He seems like the perfect fit for me right now. He's up and coming, as Daniel Craig kind of was when he took on the role. And if they want someone to kind of make several movies and make the role his own, stamp his own mark on it, then I think you need someone who's not as established as, say, a Henry Cavill. I think they'll go that way. So, and like everything Danielle said, he's all of those things, and he's a great actor too, which Daniel Craig is, of course. And then I think, my heart really, really also wants Rahul Kohli, because he ticks all those boxes. I mean, he'd be awesome, but I don't think they'll go there. One other option I did have, just to be different, is Kit Harington, who you mentioned Winterfell, and I thought at first he's probably too short, but Daniel,
I was going to say, he can't get up on an apple box to kiss a Bond girl.
I'd like to see Kit Harington smolder.
He is permanently smoldering, though. I'll give him that. So I did not make a controversial choice. In fact, I'm giving you a 2-for-1, both of who I think the next Bond could very well be and who, I wouldn't mind seeing as Bond. And let me explain the rationale first. I think with Daniel Craig, we got our tough, our mopey, our like darker, brooding Bond out of the way. And now it's time to go into like a more Roger Moore, fun Moonraker era.
I do think that's going to happen. Yeah.
Let's have a little bit more fun. He doesn't need to be a huge physically imposing threat to people, and he should be more loose with a one-liner and a little savoir-faire. So I'm going for both of them. Loki, baby, Tom Hiddleston.
You're not wrong.
Let's get him off the Marvel train. I think that in Loki, frankly, he showed that he could pull off that like devil may care. Doesn't seem like he has a plan, but he does. He always has like a little bit of a winking smile to the camera, and I think he rides that line between like, is he sexy or is he like a emaciated scarecrow British witch man? I don't know. I can't tell. It depends what the lighting is.
I can answer that for you.
Okay, well there you go. Yeah. So I think he could straddle the tones, and I think that frankly, giving Bond to an unknown at this point is like kind of risky because people don't really care about James Bond right now. I don't think they've squandered it, and like they can always keep making the movies, but it would get a boost from having a big celebrity rather than an unknown. And people are like, okay, I guess I'll check out the next generically smooth James Bond.
Generically smooth is the next title.
Yes. So, I know it's not the most creative choice, but I think that it would be a hit, and I think that he could pull it off.
It's funny. I see both sides of it because I agree, Kim. Like I can see them not wanting a huge star because they want to lock in someone for many movies. But on the other hand, I saw a Twitter conversation the other day that I thought was really interesting, where because Idris Elba's name came up as he often does, and then someone's like, "Well, he's 49 now. Would they really do that?" And then they said, "Wouldn't it be cool if they embraced even once in a while like a one-off Bond?" It's funny to think how we had 3 Batmans in like under a decade, and it wasn't the plan, obviously, but that's how it ended up being. And it's like, yeah, it would be cool if they were like, we're not locking you into a multiple picture contract. Like you can do like your Bond for a movie, and then like any of the actors we're mentioning could be like Bond. But I don't think they're going to do that. I just think it'd be cool if they did.
Yeah, it would be cool.
It should go to the winner of People's Sexiest Man Alive every year. Gets to be James Bond as a treat.
We would have had some interesting Bonds.
Yes, Ooh. Mel Gibson Bond.
Oh my!
a lot of interesting choices there.
Costner, I think. Yeah.
Okay, I know I lied. I said that we wouldn't address any fan questions, but if they're about the topic, we can talk about it. Nolan Dean writes, "Whatever happens, I want to see Tilda Swinton play the next Bond villain." That would be great. I think she's an excellent villain when she takes on those roles. Any wish list for a Bond villain to go against your picks?
Oh, now I really like that, just because I really liked her in Superior. I can't pronounce anything today. I've given up. But I really liked her in a lot of the stuff that I've seen, and now that that's in my head, like I can't get rid of it.
Yeah.
I'll just say I love that idea too. And I was thinking as I was rewatching a bunch of the Bond movies recently, it's very odd that I don't think it's been since the second Bond movie in '64 that the primary villain has been a woman. There's been many female villains in the movies, but like the one who's calling the shots.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny that I thought at first they never did it, but it's like, oh no, the second movie did it.
They did it back in the day, but there was a guy behind the girl, of course.
Right. So it's like, it's just odd. And I think that certainly they can do in general. And B, yes, I would love to see Tilda Swinton facing off with Mr. Bond.
I would go after watching The Undoing. I think it's time for Hugh Grant. You know, he missed the Bond window, but he can still play someone that everyone thinks is charming, but is actually a sociopath. And that would be kind of a good match of charm and smarm for whoever the next James Bond is.
Nice.
Also, like the idea of Phoebe Waller-Bridge, who wrote on the new movie, but I'm like, ooh, she could play like some savvy, she's like on social media villain who's really diabolical behind the scenes,
breaking the fourth wall like on Fleabag.
Yes.
Hey guys, it's me. Just wanted to check in.
Did you have a pick, Kim?
Well, like, funnily enough, I was going to say Phoebe Waller-Bridge.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, nice. Nice.
Great minds think alike.
She'd be a pick of mine to be the next Bond, but given that they've all roundly said we're not going to have a woman in that role, then yeah, next best would be a Bond villain, and I think she could bring some humor to that role. We were talking about bringing some humor back in, and Eric and I have both seen the new Bond film, and her stamp, having written parts of it, is all over it, and makes the film, a step above.
Yeah. Philippe Hunt chimes in, The World Is Not Enough has a female villain who calls the shots. I thought The World Is Not Enough was like the Bill Gates guy.
Because
I don't remember.
Not enough. It was the whole Stockholm syndrome thing. So I don't think she counts, because it's still like ultimately he's the one who turned her. So even though she's, I guess she's kind of like running things with him, but I still say, yeah, that's Robert Carlyle that was made it happen.
Now, in a fortuitous bit of cross promotion, Kim, there's a article we commissioned on Fandom.com that's all about Bond and where his money comes from exactly. Would you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, it's about, we got to thinking about how big James Bond's expense account would be. And so we did some calculations, looked through all the movies and did an average per mission. And Ali Gray is a tremendous writer, very funny, has written this really amazing and very accurate article, which calculates, the average cost of his expenses per mission. And we looked at wardrobe, and we've discounted things like guns and tech because that comes with the job. But, those day-to-day work expenses, like you and I might get, like a coffee here and a lunch there,
martini here, martini there.
Well,
he's staying in some nice hotels.
Exactly.
So many chips, so much gambling.
You never know when you're going to need to enter a high stakes gambling game. So
yeah. Do you think Bond has like amazing points on like all the hotel systems and stuff? Like, is he?
Yeah, but they're all under his alias. I guess he checks in under his own name, so it's easy to kill.
Yeah.
This is a super fun article. And as you might guess, it's not cheap to be James Bond.
No.
One of the things we looked at was the collateral damage that he causes, which, for things like large scale extinction level events, MI6 would just pick up that bill, or the government would write it off. But the man on the street, the cars that he destroys.
Right.
So the average insurance claim per year in the UK for 2018 was £10,000. So
okay, probably a few of those. Yeah,
five destroyed cars per city.
all the day's work. Well, check out the link. I'm sure it's in the description by now to go give that a read. James Bond, he's a menace, and I'm sure the taxpayers are picking up the bill for all of that. Thanks, James. Thanks for keeping us safe. And thank you for watching. Like and subscribe and do all that jazz, because we do this most days of the week. It's fall, and you know what fall means? It's time to curl up under a warm blanket on a nice 80-degree Los Angeles day.
Hey, we got mid-70s this week.
Yeah. And watch some new TV series coming out. Jeff Beeler actually commented, what debut TV series are people looking forward to that are dropping in the next over the next few weeks to a month? For him, it's Cowboy Bebop. We've addressed how much we're looking forward to that or not in a previous episode, but let's go around the horn and we will say, they don't have to be on Hulu, but it's cool if they are. What new show is coming out that you guys are looking forward to seeing? And then maybe throw in what shows returning that you're also excited for this fall. We'll go counterclockwise. Kim, let's start with you.
Okay, so new shows, which I think has already premiered, and I've seen the first 3 episodes of, is Why the Last Man. And that's because what I liked about what I've seen so far is it doesn't shy away from the gore, and I love the questions it asks. It doesn't ask questions with easy answers. It looks at it's based on a comic book, if you don't know, and that looks at what would happen if all the cis men in the world died out from some mysterious plague. So it doesn't. So in some things like this, you might suddenly find a matriarchy in charge that becomes abject, monstrous. And it doesn't necessarily go that way, but it doesn't necessarily shy away from that, from what I've seen so far. And I haven't read the comic book. So, and it's got a nice monkey in it.
Very
yeah, he's the only man alive is Ross from Friends and his little pet monkey. I have read the comic, but it was like 10 years ago and really enjoyed it. And I don't think I've seen too many clips or trailers from this, but I did see there's an enormous billboard outside my house that says 95% of all airline pilots will die. Why the Last Man?
Yeah.
I'm just like a little confused at what they're going for there. I'm sure it's true, but like, okay, is that what the show's about?
Well, this is what's happening in real life right now, with the shortage of lorry drivers over here, which is predominantly male industry.
Yeah.
I saw a different one, Spencer, that was for how many CEOs would die. I can't remember the percentage, but it was yeah.
Well, that's a perk. So what about shows that are returning? Kim, anything on its way back that you like?
Well, of the Hulu shows, and I think it's already out, but I'm picking American Horror Stories, because now the entire American Horror Stories series is hit and miss. But every time I get drawn back into it, and it always starts off strong, and I think I'm going to love this season, and it disappoints me. But this one, American Horror Stories, is kind of independent, standalone, dipping into the world, an anthology series. And from the first one, I've only seen the first one so far, it revisits Murder House, which was the first season of American Horror Story, and tells a new story within that framework, which is really interesting to me. I'd like to see at some point, I know that a second season's been commissioned, I'd like to see them revisit Asylum, which was my absolute favorite season.
So I've yet to dive into any of this show. I'm generally hot or cold on Ryan Murphy, so sometimes I like it, sometimes I don't. Should I start with this one, or do I have to go back to the beginning?
Go back to the beginning, watch the first 2 seasons, and then if you watch any more, you'll be roundly disappointed.
That's where I'm at.
The rest, and then watch American Horror Stories.
Right.
Yeah,
sweet. Sounds like a plan. All right, thank you, Kim. Eric, what do you got? What's your new show first?
Well, I'll echo that I really like what I've seen of Why the Last Man. I've seen the same episodes Kim has seen of that recently debuted series, and I've also read the comic. I know it's a tricky show in that a lot of things have sort of done this type of material in between the comic and this show happening, but I still like the vibe of the show quite a bit, and they've made a couple changes that I actually like how they've done as far as like combining some characters and switching some things around. So that one for sure. And then not a new show, but only going into season 2, and a show that I know people appreciate, but I think more people can appreciate, is The Great, which is coming back for season 2 in November. So that's a Hulu show that I really dig, and really fun. It's it's this, it's about Catherine the Great, and it's doing the thing of the language is not purposely not always true to the time, and it's very comedic in tone, but not 100% comedic, and it can make some big tonal shifts, but I think it kind of pulls it off well when things kind of get dark and intense. Really dig that show. And then I'll just mention on the the non-Hulu front, yes, of course, I'm looking forward to Hawkeye and Boba Fett. But I gotta give some love to my friend Chucky, because his show's coming very soon. And I might have seen a few episodes of that one, and it might have delivered everything this Chucky fan wanted. Yes, I'm looking forward to spending more time with Chucky as well this fall.
Of course, it was Chucky. Of course. I'll second the great Nicole was my backup Bond, in case anyone else picked Tom Hiddleston.
So good in that show.
So good in that, and he's a sick puppy, but it's great.
Yeah.
Danielle, what are your choices?
So are we doing new shows first?
Yeah.
So for new shows, and I believe this one is out, but it is one that I want to check out just for more like curiosity to see how they do it. I want to check out Black Wonder Years. I want to.
Oh, it's good.
That's what I've heard. I've heard it's really good. I just haven't had a chance to like sit down with it yet, and I want to give it like a fair shot, not when I'm like busy and doing other things. Because it looks really charming. I don't know how I feel. I get why it's the same setting and it's like that era. I think I might be a little kind of 60s out. Like it might be a little like because I don't have nostalgia for that period because I wasn't alive. And when I was a kid, everything was like 60s. Right? Yeah. Well, no, but I was like a kid. So it was like, I couldn't be nostalgic for
anything.
So, but yeah, I'm looking forward to it. The writing on it looks really smart. I'm a sucker for a coming of age story. So I think that's good. That's my new one. And then for returning, Bob's Burgers, baby. I love that show. It's one of my favorite shows. I'm really looking forward to that coming back. I'm not sure even I think we're in like season 13 or something like wild like that I didn't even think that they were going to get that far into. So yeah, like really looking forward to Bob's Burgers coming back.
And the movie next year.
And the movie.
Yep, that's right. There's going to be so many good songs. I'm so excited.
Man, good for Jon Benjamin. That guy is the voice of a generation of cartoons.
Really is.
He'll always be Coach McGurk to me, but I'm happy for him. I'm glad he's doing well. All right, so I've got my new show first. Not on Hulu, sorry. There's plenty of good stuff there, though. But I am most excited for Jon Stewart's returning to television. Mm-hmm. What's going on there? I don't really know much about it. It's called The Problem with Jon Stewart. And we'll see if he's still got his fastball. It's been a while. I think that Colbert has certainly fallen off for me, but I think that comes with the territory of doing a late night show on a network like that. But John Oliver, I mean, come on, he's only grown in power and he must be dethroned. So I'm really curious to see what this show is and if he's still funny, because for me, college era, the George W. Bush era Daily Show was very formative and very, very funny. And you can only hope that he's still got it and it won't be sad like most old people returning to what made them great. So that one is my most anticipated. Very high ceiling, very low floor. We'll see how that shakes out. But something that it's coming back that I know is going to be good. And it's on HBO, but I'm pretty sure you can get HBO through Hulu. I definitely had that for a point. Like you could subscribe through that and you had it all in one place. Very handy. Succession. Come on, season 3 of Succession. It's Game of Thrones without the horses. It's great. It's you get a Culkin. You get everything you want. I cannot wait to see where the show goes. They filmed it during quarantine. It's gonna have a weird in Europe in like some castle. It's gonna have a weird vibe. And man, I think this is the best show on TV currently for a multitude of reasons. So the fact that it only got better from season 1 to 2. So if they can keep that momentum going, we're in for a good time.
I like the different posters they did too. Like I thought that was really cool because like there's 3 different posters where everyone's kind of like walking in this hallway. And if you don't, you have to like pay attention to notice it. But in every one, the poster is different and people are on like different sides, which I thought was really like, that's kind of cool. I like when you can do something that's like different in that way,
Yeah, it'd be weird if they did the like typical blockbuster movie thing and just put like a big pile of their heads like looking.
I want it. Oh my God, with like there's just purple in the background for like no good reason.
Yeah, that'd be amazing. Purple and orange. You gotta give that contrast. All right.
It's like a giant cigar. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what's coming up on TV. Ryan highlighted that there is a lot of love for Boba Fett in the chat. And yeah, of course, that's going to be the more man the better.
It just got its release date this morning, December 29th, right? Or 31st? I can't remember.
Our second headline option the headline option that wasn't, if this one didn't work out.
We have a date, and that's it. Yeah, super psyched for that. That'll be fun. Other things that I'm super psyched for, a new Paul Thomas Anderson movie, Licorice Pizza. That is a reference to a vinyl record, which in some ways looks like a licorice pizza. This was, I don't know, this trailer, look, I'm going to see this movie. I love his work. Danielle and I had a spirited discussion about just how white these things are.
We sure did, pals.
And I'm not a huge Haim fan, but I know that that's the band, not the music, or not the acting. And that's cool that this is Philip Seymour Hoffman's kid. I don't know. I have mixed feelings, although I'm sure I have a feeling it's also going to be great because he hasn't let me down for like ever, really. What do you guys think of this trailer?
Yeah, what you said, really, Spencer. I mean, the trailer does nothing for me. It feels like, the debut of a first-time director kind of offering. I'm not sure if I particularly want another teen drama, coming of age teen drama in my world that looks like this. But, big but, it's Paul Thomas Anderson, and I'm sure there are going to be layers in it that are going to make me eat my words there. I'm really hopeful for it, and I think the casting's great. I'm really interested to see those two in the main roles, but also the supporting cast. Bradley Cooper never puts a foot wrong for me. You've got Sean Penn, Tom Waits, and then Ben Stiller, Maya Rudolph, and John C. Reilly in roles. So that's exciting to me. Yeah.
Danielle, you're a little more lukewarm.
I feel like we can save my hot take for last.
Okay, yeah.
I have thoughts.
So I saw this trailer last week because they were playing it at the New Beverly and a few other revival houses and before they put it online. And here's the thing: if I take a step back, the trailer itself was not anything special. I wasn't like, oh my god, from this trailer. But I can't take a step back because I grew up in the San Fernando Valley, and it's great that Paul Thomas Anderson, that we have a Scorsese of the Valley who just explores the rich nuance of growing up amongst malls and just regular mundane life. And I love that.
Licorice Pizza was like a record store, right?
It was a chain. Yeah, it was a record chain, which I have vague memories of as a kid in the 80s. It would have been gone by the time I was like really going to record stores, but I've seen you can see it in a lot of movies. Like it's in Fast Times at Ridgemont High, Licorice Pizza. So I love that it's another deep dive PTA Valley movie. I've actually gotten really into the Valley in the 70s. I just bought a book of like photos of cruising on Van Nuys Boulevard in the 70s. So I'm all about like the aesthetics and the recreation and all that stuff. That being said, the trailer did not make me go like, oh my god! But I'm gonna be there opening night because it's my guy, my local guy.
Yeah,
it's your dude.
Valley Boy done good. Danielle, right. The floor is yours.
Yeah, a lot of my favorite movies are just like all white folks. So like one of my favorite movies of all time is like Almost Famous, and Almost Famous is like a lot of
Almost Famous vibes for me.
No, it's exactly has Almost Famous vibes for me. And like I love that movie. A lot of my favorite movies from the past look like a bunch of wedding dress samples. So like I don't want to, but it's just like I these days I like literally, if I don't even see any people of color in the background and Maya Rudolph is in there for a second, not even long enough to get her name, like when they show the names of everyone that's in it, she's not even in there. And like I love Maya Rudolph. I don't know if it counts if like the only person of color in your trailer is your wife. I just like don't know if that counts for me. I'm gonna see it. I like Paul Thomas Anderson as a director, but like as far as being like super psyched for it, I'm gonna see it. It's gonna be on somewhere, and there's gonna be a day when I'm like, okay, this is on Hulu, I'm gonna go ahead and watch it. But as far as me being like super psyched now, I'm sorry, we're at a point now where like there's no excuse to not really have like people of color. Like there's just no excuse for me anymore. And like I feel like a lot of these movies get set in the past because it makes it easier to justify that you don't have people of color in it. And it's just as someone who like has finally gotten a taste of representation. You're not taking it away from me again. Like, you gave me a little bit and it's like, now I want everything. You give a mouse a cookie. So it's like, we're not going back. And so, yeah, for me, it's like I said, I'll totally see it, but
Yeah, I mean, San Fernando Valley, I think it's probably, like, I'm pulling this out of my butt, but it's not a all white town. It's like
there's
probably in the
Latinos
70,
alone.
30, 60, 40, something along those lines, like most of Los Angeles. So it can't be any, the fact that it can't be any more white than Phantom Thread. I will say that. Which might be the whitest movie of all time. We should do that bracket. I think that might be a number one seed. But I think overall, he's representation aside. I think that I'm excited for this movie despite the trailer, not because of it. So there you go. And then speaking of,
like Haim.
What's that?
I was just saying, I do like Haim. I do like them.
Haim?
Yeah,
I am. Yeah,
I like them. I like them.
I like them too.
Yeah,
I like them, and I like his music videos he's directed of them, often set in the San Fernando Valley.
This has been a commercial for Hulu and the San Fernando Valley.
Look, I don't want to. We're talking a lot about representation right now, and I don't want to erase representation, but I'd kind of rather talk about the Mario casting than the Encanto trailer. What do you guys think? Because we don't have too much time. Can we just say that Encanto looks good and magical and the music sounds nice? I don't really have much to add besides that, but I do want to get your take on the Mario stuff.
It looks cute, and it looks like it's a movie about a squib from Harry Potter, and that's a good concept. So there you go.
There's an animated capybara in it, which I don't think I've ever seen before. So
yeah, the music's going to be great. It looks super cute. We're all going to see it and we're all going to cry.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, totally. So moving on. It's a me, Chris Pratt. Wow. I am so sorry we weren't live this day. What a beautiful day that the internet had.
That's amazing.
Gosh,
I thought about an emergency show. I did.
We should have done one.
Yeah.
Somebody had said,
I guess we should have.
Right now, I would have, but that's on you, Ryan. Say it. You got to like that, like the beacons of Gondor or whatever.
Hit that red button and be like, "We're doing it.
We're going live. Wake up, Kim." So yeah, it's December 21st. Christmas is coming early next year because we're getting Chris Pratt as Mario, Charlie Day as Luigi, Seth Rogen as Donkey Kong, Jack Black as Bowser, Anna Taylor-Joy as Peach, Keegan-Michael Key as Toad. What a star-studded cast that is for Nintendo's return to the big screen after the much maligned but good cyberpunk dystopian Super Mario Brothers movie with Leguizamo and Bob Hoskins. Right? Yeah. So I just give me your general gut feeling. Eric, let's start with you.
I just think the reaction was my favorite part, because it is really, it's very silly, right? Like, Chris Pratt as Mario sounds like a parody movie. On the other hand, and I say this as someone who loves the Mario games and has played a hell of a lot of them, as someone who says I don't play video games a lot. I have played a lot of Mario games. They're great. I also don't really care who voices Mario in an animated movie. So I actually thought the anger some had amused me also. I was just kind of entertained by the whole thing, just because it totally sounds like a dartboard of like, who's had hit movies that we can get to do a voice here. And so, yeah, it's pretty funny. It was Lord or Miller, one of them tweeted out a photo of Pratt and Charlie Day's characters from the Lego movie with little mustaches put on them. Cute. And yeah, it's like, sure, why not? Jack Black is Bowser, though. That's strong.
Anyone else that you would, if you were to swap Chris Pratt, but you seem happy with the whole thing. So
I don't know if I'm happy with it. I'm just like amused by it. Like, I just don't have a heavy investment in who voices it. So. Let chaos reign.
Danielle, why did this ruin or make your childhood?
It's so I had some time to think, because obviously we were all getting off our jokes that day, because I definitely got off mine, like just imagining what it's going to sound like for him to be like, hey guys, it's like me, your friend Mario, like how that's going to sound. I did think about it, and I'm sorry, It's a Me is not a 90-minute movie. You do that voice for 90 minutes.
Oh no,
that is
yes
rough. That is
any
rough.
an actual dialogue back and forth with that voice. No.
Yeah, that's like a lot. Oh no, we got to get to the castle. Like I'm
Yes.
Luigi, you ever think what happens when we die? Like,
sometimes there's just too much beauty in the world.
All these moments are lost in like a tears in a rain.
I don't see that working. I am tickled pink, tickled Princess Peach for this movie. I'm definitely gonna go see it. It might wind up being really good. We don't know. It might be really charming. I do think there were a lot of people who were like angry. I think most of it was just all of us getting our jokes off because it's very much like, wah-huh? You know, instead of wahoo, wah-huh. But so, yeah, I mean, and we're going to pop off jokes every time this comes on. Like, it's just going to happen. But I also don't understand a lot of the anger because, like, my bros, it's a Mario movie. We're all going to be okay. Like, I promise we're all going to be fine. You still have so many games with your wahooing if you need to be wahooed at. Like, they put out 5 or 6 games with Mario every year.
Right. And this is one thing where
it's
party. It's pretty funny when people bring the representation stuff into Mario because this was a Italian caricature invented by Japanese people voiced by an American. So it's like, who's this representing here?
Have Giamatti do it. Have him do his accent.
Hey, you stole my pick.
Dang it. I'm so sorry.
Kim, who do you want, and or what's your general reaction to this cast list?
Well, my biggest issue was with it's been implied in Super Mario Brothers that Peach is a romantic interest of Mario, right, for a long time.
Yeah, they're friendly.
Yeah, so even in animation, they're going with this age gap thing with Anya Taylor-Joy, 17 years younger than Chris Pratt, and it's enraged me.
They have to do it. They have to, right?
Yeah, I like both of them.
The sex scenes are going to be much more awkward knowing that. You're right.
Especially because he's going to be going, "It's me, Mario."
Oh my God! Now I am so into this. Thanks, guys.
Thank you so much for having a sex. So you would who would you age up or down in that scenario?
Well, if they're going with Chris Pratt, then I'd like to see more roles like this for 40-something like this for 40-something women, Spencer.
Yeah.
And
You're
so
right.
I'm thinking Princess Peach could be. We mentioned her already. Maya Rudolph, she'd be excellent.
Yep.
Or a Kristen Wiig maybe.
Oh, or Amy Poehler, but Parks and Rec reunion there.
Another great choice.
Those are all lovely. Danielle, you spoiled it.
I'm the worst.
Fine, because I think that if we could come together as a people to make Sonic less of a monster, we could come together as a people to replace Chris Pratt with Paul Giamatti doing the same voice he did in Jungle Cruise, which I believe was his backdoor audition tape for playing Mario. It might be the only part of Jungle Cruise worth watching, but he is going like full pizza box Italian, and he is giving it 119% in every single scene and absolutely chewing the scenery. And I think that this movie is probably going to be insane. So why not turn into the skid, do the voice the entire time. And he doesn't need to talk a lot, and Mario doesn't strike me as a very verbose hero. He's a low key kind of blue collar plumber, just the facts, man. But man, you give most of the rant to Charlie Day, and you can prop him up, but who wouldn't want Giamatti to be a beloved children's icon like Super Mario? I want to see him I want to see him full on wear the costume at Comic-Con. Like that's what I want. Honestly, they should do performance capture. Like put him in the blue dot mustache and a unitard, and have him just like roll around on the ground and jump on mushrooms. On mushrooms. And make that the film.
So I believe I saw, by the way, that because of this news, the original Hoskins Super Mario movie was suddenly like one of the biggest digital download movies, which
Yes.
I loved. I love
Yeah.
that happened. Like that's got to be the biggest success that movie's ever had, right?
Apparently there's like a Snyder cut of that that somebody came out with. Like the director found his dailies or something like that and created a longer patched together cut of the Mario Brothers movie. We should do a group watch of that. It should be fun.
I need it. I want
Yeah.
it. I want it
Yeah.
so bad.
Yeah.
I love that movie.
Yeah. Do you?
That's our
Wow.
next watch along.
Of course I do. Have we met? Of course I love the Mario movie.
Dennis Hopper is my King Koopa. Well, there you go. I'm glad we finally got to say that. Any final thoughts on this or any of our stories today? Again, no fan questions. We are banking them all for an all fan question mailbag holiday episode. But any final thoughts? Any words of wisdom to our audience before we say goodbye?
I mean, I just wanted to put forward an alternate Mario.
Oh yeah.
And I don't know if you've been following Steve Coogan's casting story. He's been casting a new BBC drama about Jimmy Savile, who is an awful man. So I'd like to put forward Steve Coogan to take the heat off his latest job.
I love the Cougs. The Trip and Alan Partridge. Those are great. He could do a Mario. He could do a great Mario. Great call. Well,
Mario should be like Doctor Who. Everyone gets a chance every season.
That's right.
Yeah. Ryan says, who's the person who could play both Mario and Bond? I think Steve Coogan, or who's his partner in the Trip? Rob Brydon. Bryson?
Rob Brydon.
Let's
Brydon,
bring
yeah.
your
another
Hiddleston. Your
He could do
Hiddleston
both.
idea. Yeah, he can do Mario.
Exactly. There you go. A lot of good stuff today. Hope you had fun watching and for playing along. Danielle, Eric, Kim, we'll see y'all next week. Thanks again.
We got a review coming up. We got a review
Oh.
coming up for No Time to Die in like 1 hour. So be ready for that.
Hey, there you go. Awesome. So get your Bond fix later this week too. All right. See y'all later. Bye-bye.
This episode was brought to you by Hulu.